Hello and welcome. Today we will make some scrunchies.
4 different methods to be exact, but after the scrunchie bands. You will need a pair of scissors, elastic band, a few hair ties, scrap fabric, chalk or a pencil, a sewing machine and your hands, a measuring tape in the shape of a pig or a sketchy ruler, some pins, and that's it. First, let's measure the length of your hair ties. Mark with a pin anywhere on your hair tie. Then take your pig-shaped measuring tape and follow it all around to figure out how long is your hair tie. You will need that measurement to cut your fabric in order to make your scrunchie. Which brings us to the first method of sewing scrunchies. On the difficulty scale, it's the ridiculous method because it's very easy. You will need a hair tie and a strip of fabric measuring 4 inches by 3 times the length of your hair tie. Then insert that fabric inside of your hair tie, right sides facing, and sew that on the length to the end, leaving both sides open. Turn that fabric snake inside out. That will take a while.
An eternity later.
Then take one of those open ends, fold a little bit to the inside to make a beautiful finish, and insert the other end inside of that beautiful one. Make sure that that seam is aligned and that nothing is twisted. Pin it in place and sew that along that line using either your hands or the machine. And that's it. You have a scrunchie. This is my least favorite method because the finish is not very beautiful, but it takes around 10 minutes to do it. So if you're in a hurry and in need of an emergency scrunchie, this is the method for you. The next method is a little bit more complicated, but it's still an easy method in the difficulty scale. Again, you will need a hair tie and a strip of fabric 4 inches by 3 times the length of your hair tie. First, take your strip of fabric and press 2 seam allowances, one on each of the longer sides of your fabric. Then press it also in half, so you have the middle section as well. Then fold it right sides facing and sew that part together so you have a tube. Press that seam allowance flat and open and cut a little bit from the side so you don't have anything poking out. Insert that tube inside of your hair tie and fold it wrong sides facing each other, aligning that seam you just pressed open and also those beautiful pressed edges, and sew along that seam allowance from the outside all around until you have closed that tube. So now you have a very well finished scrunchie. I prefer this method for the finished hair tie because it gives me a beautiful finish. The next one is a meh in the difficulty scale. Not difficult, yet a little annoying. For this you will need the elastic band, 8 inches of it to be exact, and a strip of fabric cut 20 inches long by 4 inches wide. First, fold your strip of fabric by the length, right sides facing, and sew that along. Then, turn your fabric snake inside out.
Another eternity later.
Threading your elastic band through it, be sure to pin the end of the elastic band to one of the ends of your snake so that you don't lose the elastic inside or just thread right through the fabric. This is very frustrating. And then sew both ends of the elastic together on a zigzag. Just pretend I did a very nice job here and that everything's matching. After that's done, just proceed to fold one of the ends inside and shove the other end inside of that, just like the first method, the one that I really disliked. Align that seam and sew that in place. There you have, again, a very quick way of doing an emergency scrunchie if you don't have a hair tie laying around. This method is the professional method. This is the haute couture of scrunchies. This scrunchie is worthy of the red carpet. Out of the way, Johansson! Now it's my turn to show off la pièce de résistance of ultimate art and design. For this you will need, again, 8 inches of elastic and a strip of fabric 20 inches by 4 inches wide. Fold it in half by the length, right sides facing, and sew that, but leave a gap in the middle. Turn that beautiful snake inside out, but not all the way through, just half of it, aligning both of the ends together, aligning that beautiful seam from the inside so that you have right sides facing. Sew that by hand, and in case you have a stretchy fabric, sew that on the machine. Sometimes it works. After that, turn your snake right side out through that gap you left in the middle and thread your elastic through that. Pin the end of the elastic to one of the sides of your beautiful snake so that you don't lose it and get frustrated. frustrated, I just want to remind you this is a beautiful piece of art you are constructing right now. Sew the ends of your elastic together on a zigzag stitch, and in order to close this little gap that you have now, you will have to perform an invisible stitch. So let me refer to my scrap fabric number 2 to simulate this beautiful technique for you. The ladder stitch! So here you have your spread seam open and your hole that you wish to close. I fold this seam together and I pin it closed in place so I have better control of what I'm doing. Then I open it again. For teaching purposes, I will tape this to the table so nothing wiggles around. And then you will start sewing this by hand with a thread the same color as your fabric, please. Just start on the inside of this gap so you can hide this first stitch, and then proceed on a square zigzag manner. Put a needle in and out on a straight manner, and then proceed to the other side. Needle in, needle out, and then to the other side. Needle in, needle out, and then to the other side. And do this until you reach the end. So you see the ladder? Yes, you're constructing a ladder. That's why it's called a ladder stitch. Once you've reached the end, pull your thread carefully until all of your stitches disappear. And those are now invisible, hidden. They disappeared from the world, and your hole is closed. And this is how you will close this little mouth here. And voila, you have the most perfect scrunchie in the world. All invisible stitches, no gaps, nothing. It's the picture of perfection.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like sewing shenanigans and crazy fashion projects, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye!